Welcome back, everyone. I'm the Depressed Hero, and this is Labyrinth for Touhou. Alright, so I'm just going to do some adjustments to the formation for right now. So I didn't really talk too much about the primary stats. You of course have HP and MP. Those are pretty self-explanatory. Something to note in this game is if you're ever in the back row, debuffs will gradually run out of duration while in the back row. The other thing is, while in the back row, your MP will gradually restore. Each character has their own HP and recovery rates. So both their HP and MP will usually recover. You usually will not rely on this the back row to recover HP, but in the case of MP, it's pretty much a necessity in most cases. So that's why I say usually the way you do these combats is you have your tanky characters, and then you'll kind of gradually just swap in characters that unload their biggest spells as possible. And then you immediately swap them out to let them recharge, essentially. There is a way to recharge while in the front row, but it's incredibly inefficient. Anyway, the other stat, though, to point out is TP, which is... I don't remember if there's an actual term, but I always refer to it as stamina. Stamina in this game is used for a number of things. Well, it's used for primary. The primary thing it's used for is to keep your characters motivated. So it's not an issue of whether or not your characters get tired, though it may be the case for certain characters like Rinazuki. But once their stamina hits 0, once that combat is over, they will say something and then they'll leave. They'll essentially go back to town, and they'll be removed from your party until you go back and pick them up again. So the thing that's going to really stop you from fully exploring a floor is not necessarily your HP and MP, but it's going to be your stamina. Every time that you swap out, I believe you lose 1 stamina. Also, at the end of every combat, the front row will lose at least 1 stamina. They will also lose, but the amount of stamina they lose will be proportional off the amount of HP they lost, up to 5. So they can lose anywhere from 1 to 5. So in this game, if you want to maximize your exploration, it's not enough to just win your fights. You need to win your fights efficiently. You need to make it so your opponents do not hit you very much. Or if they hit you, they hit characters that can't be damaged. And that's going to be kind of the gist here. So the reason why I'm pulling Rinazuki out is if someone starts getting tired, I can swap someone else in. I can swap him in, and he'll have fresh stamina for at least for a little while. There's also there are also going to be a few things I'm going to be doing that may be questionable, but it'll become clear probably once I get back to town. Anyway, besides that, while in a dungeon, you also have the rest command, which will immediately heal MP for everybody, but it will eat up stamina from everyone as well. I think it eats up like 3 points, which is pretty expensive. In this game, there's not very many ways to increase stamina, especially in the early game. And there's certain characters that have really, really low stamina. Like, well, I don't really have an example right now, but you can probably, if you're familiar with Touhou, you can probably think of a few characters that may have some either stamina or motivation issues. Anyway, you can also leave the dungeon at any point, just by doing leave dungeon. And that's how you can return. So you don't need to worry about going back to the stairs or any of that nonsense. Besides that, I think that's everything. There's also the options, which just has things for like volume and message speeds and all that. Anyway, while you're down here, I don't think you can spend skill points. Yeah, you can't learn skills while in a dungeon. Alright, so you move orthogonally in the dungeons here. There is one button you can press in this game that will do one other thing. If you look on the top right where there's the mini-map, you'll also see, unfortunately it's cut off, but it's the encounter rate. Every step you take will increase the encounter rate little by little. And essentially every step I take, I essentially have that % chance of being encountered. So gradually as I move, it'll get higher and higher until I hit an encounter. There is a button I can press, I don't remember which one it is on the keyboard, that will immediately change your encounter rate to 400%, which will make it so your next step is guaranteed to have an encounter. So if you ever need to do grinding, you can do that by just hitting that button and just taking single steps over and over again, which kind of speeds it up a little bit. Anyway, now the neat thing is you can definitely see various key points on the map, even in areas where you can't explore, so it kind of gives you an idea of where you may want to go or may not want to go. And here's combat. So unfortunately, right now, our opponents are a bit faster than us, so we're going to be taking hits, which is going to be not great. Now, that Nut Eater did hit us, hit Kian with a status effect. She got hit with Shock, and you might have saw that her little ATB bar that was filling up beneath her portrait got reduced down to half. So unfortunately, she's been essentially slowed down a bit. Anyway, the rate that your ATB bar increases is based off your speed. So speed tends to be a stat that's very, very expensive and slow to build up, but it's very, very worthwhile to build up because gradually monsters and bosses are going to get faster, and the last thing you want is these guys to have multiple turns on you. Anyway, so with this, we can go ahead and just have our fun. I can heal people if I really want to. Sure, we'll go ahead and heal. So, didn't heal her to full. She's going to probably lose 1 stamina at the very least. So I have a number of spells here. Magic Missile is a single target and very cheap. And it's enough to kill it. Alright, first combat done. There are bonuses for consecutive battles in this game. Every consecutive battle will increase the total XP and money bonuses. It also, I think, will increase your drop rate. So fighting a lot of monsters, fighting a lot of encounters will gradually get you more and more reward. It's not a huge difference, but it is something to note. So that was our first battle. Ain't too bad if we're careful. It wasn't too bad because of you all. I couldn't do much at all. We managed one way or another, but it gets pretty rough when they start attacking. It'll be best if we take the initiative and use spell cards to take out the enemies before they attack. Not like I can do that either. Well, even if we take damage in battle, we'll recover after we're done with it. It's okay, don't worry. Alrighty, let's go. Let's keep the beat going. All HP that was lost in battle will be recovered after it. If a character was down in battle, they will come back to the party with their HP fully recovered. However, for characters that recover HP after being defeated, a large amount of stamina will be consumed and to bring them back. Those characters will lose 10 stamina, and other characters will lose 1 to 5 depending on their HP left. TP acts as a motivation for characters. If a character's TP goes down to 0, they will be demoralized and return to Kentucky by themselves. By reducing the amount of damage taken, you can reduce the amount of TP consumed. It's one way to extend your exploration. So all the stuff I kind of mentioned before. I completely forgot how thorough they are in some of their tutorials. Alright, here we find sub-equipment Life Fragment. You can change your equipment here, which is helpful. The good old thing which you collect 4 of to increase your life count by 1. Make sure you collect lots of them to get a lot of life counts. So yeah, right now I'm just gonna do that. So that gives her a little bit extra HP. Did that actually make a difference? Yes, it does. Gave her 13 more HP. And then nothing else here. Nothing there. Alright, small Kadamas. We're going to go ahead and use... Okay, so one of the quality of life things that the Plus disc included is you can actually see whether or not an element does extra damage or not. Before, the only indications you would have was the color of the damage number in this game. I think like blue means they were strong against it, red of course meant they were weak against it, and then of course white is just normal. But in this game they made it a bit easier so you can actually see ahead of time. Because before the only way you can actually learn weaknesses in game was just trial and error. And then out of game the only way or you would have to rely on out of game resources such as like guides and stuff, which was kind of a common way to play the previous game, which was just to look up all the bosses so you didn't have to bang your head against a wall. But this game was pretty good about it, and it's now even better now that they made it a bit more simplified. Anyway, this spell here, yeah, so they're weak against dark, so I'm going to be using dark magic here. I hit 2, and I missed 1. So in the previous game there was an evasion stat, but it was broken and it didn't actually do anything. In this game, evasion does work. So it's something to be aware of, because your attacks can miss, and some character's attacks, special attacks may be actually very inaccurate. In any case, you do have a normal attack. In most cases, your normal attack is super inefficient. It's slow, doesn't do very much damage, but in the early game, it can actually save you some MP. In this case, it was not enough. As for what stat you use, it depends on which one's higher. So Reimu, it's either attack or magic. In the case of Marissa, it could be it's most likely magic. Okay. There we go. Killed more stuff. Onwards. What do we have here? What's that over there? Oh, if it isn't Reimu. Oh, and Marissa and the second-hand shop owner too. Hey, we ain't extras over here. Well, what would you all be doing entering this place as a group? I would ask the same thing. What are you doing here? As for us, we're doing the usual, sticking our necks into trouble, because it looks interesting. Yes, that was entirely what I expected. Rainbow and Marissa really do give off that impression to everyone else, huh? Anyway, enough of that. What about you? You don't seem to be the sort to stick your neck into this mess. It's not like I came to this place because I wanted to. Lady Yuyiko got really excited since this gigantic tree appeared just when she was feeling bored. She was going on and on about how she wanted to give this place a visit. She kept telling me things like the journey to becoming a worthy swordswoman begins with a search for an appropriate sword, which will also polish your skills. So Yomu, go look for a sword in that tree, and so on. Were you trying to imitate Yuyiko's voice just now? No. Did it sound like her? Not really. Anyways, you came here to do as you were told then. Of course not. No one would cater to Lady Yukiko's every whim. And besides, I already have Rokaken and Hakuroken. I just happened to come here to kill some time, enjoy the cooling atmosphere, and return to the Hagogyokuro after. The garden still needs cleaning. Rokaken and Hakuroken. Those are the two swords you carry with you, the long and short one? Yes, they are both very good swords. If we aren't seeing things, your short sword, the Wakizashi, is nowhere to be found. No, I have left it around here. Huh? What? No, that's impossible. Wait, really? My Hakuroken's gone? What? No way. You know, for a swordmaster to not be able to keep an eye on her sword, you may still be a provisional swordmaster, but it's pretty embarrassing, don't you think? No, it was really there just a moment ago. This can't be happening. Where's my Hakuroken? Well, good luck. Wait, please look for it for me. Sorry, no can do. We got places to go. Where is it? Alright, so we found Yomu. And she lost her sword. That's painful. Okay, we're fine. Alright, you have a decent punch. Pew pew. Oh, that was bad. Well, that didn't go well. I was trying to conserve MP and it ended up biting me. That's okay. So you're down to 4 stamina. Good for you. We'll tag you guys out for now. So yeah, the game, if you let the enemies attack you, you're in for a world of hurt in most cases. Main equipment, Cypress Stick. A cypress rod that isn't very thick. It's not very reliable as a blunt weapon, but having a weapon at all gives people courage and a way to fight back against those trying to intimidate them. Probably. So I think this is a Dragon Warrior reference. I think like the first weapon, the very bottom tier weapon is the Cypress Stick, which gave like +1 attack. In most cases you're better off getting a club, but Cypress Stick I think could be equipped by just about anyone in the game. Anyway, we'll give it to Marissa for now, because I don't really have... More likely we'll probably give this to someone else, but for right now we'll be on Marissa, because she's our main damage dealer. Alright, so the wasps are a bit annoying. I got poison. So the way poison... So, I haven't really talked too much about the way status effects work. So status effects are of value. So as you can see there's poison 16,222. the higher your poison value, the longer it lasts and the more damage it does. And essentially the way poison works is as your ATB bar fills, or as time passes, your HP will just drop. Poison cannot kill you in this game. It will take you down to 1 HP and no further. Poison does work on bosses, and it works much the same way. It'll just gradually damage them. And then for any other status effects, it's much the same idea. Well, as time passes, that poison value will drop. And it's the same thing for any other status effects. So for example, if you get silenced, you'll see a silence value down there, and once that hits 0, you'll be fine. You can also cleanse off status effects if you have certain spell cards, but unfortunately we do not have that option. A few other things to note about status effects and status attacks is all of them have their own values, and your resistances could go anywhere from 0 to even above 100. And your status attacks can have a value, and that value can be influenced by the target's immunity. So even if you have a low status value, it can still affect certain things to a certain point. But eventually, if you reach a certain point, like 200 and a certain status effect, you're usually immune, quote-unquote immune to that status effect. Sorry if that was a bit long-winded. I probably explained that poorly, but you'll kind of get it as we go through. Also, certain status effects may or may not stack if you keep hitting them with it. Anyway, so we got beat up here. We can do that, or we can do this. We'll do this. Alright, did some damage, but not enough. Punch. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, unfortunately, took a lot of damage there, especially from the poison. Yeah, I only lost 4 stamina, not 5. Hello? Hey, yeah, you would be. That voice. Hello, it's been a while now. Well, if it isn't Aya, what are you doing here today? Never mind, you Crotinga love these kind of scoops. You're always there when you can get a scandal-like article, and even more for this kind of news story. The truth is, I wanted to come here even earlier. I was preoccupied acquiring information on another bit of good news that I had heard, which ended up delaying my investigation of this incident considerably. What's the big deal with being a bit behind schedule? That delay means the rest of the Crotinga reached here before I did, and they probably at the floors above by now. This head start they have will be hard to make up. Ah, that's right. There's a lot of you paparazzi. Yes, you lot have your own pressures. So, do excuse me while I start my comeback rally now. I've got some catching up to do. She's all fired up. So, ran into Aya, the Crotinga, who's all about news stories and sensationalist articles, to say the least. Alright, sub-equipment, steadfast ring. Finding all the tanking items. A ring that decreases knockback from damage. The ring system offered lots of customization and collecting fun, but it was no longer present in the other titles. Quite a shame. Don't know the reference, unfortunately. So yeah, Kiane's resistance to shock was only 30. It wasn't particularly high. With this, it'll go up by another 50. So she's not entirely immune, but she'll be better off. Alright, Kadama. Oh wow, we actually beat it. Punch. Magic missile. Oh wow, you lived. Oh my god, we couldn't kill you. Well, that could have gone better. Alright. What do we got here? Oh my, hey Marissa, in front of us. Isn't that a Tengu? Yeah, I think I saw that girl before. What was her name again? What? Where did that Tengu go? I'm here. Wow, you startled me. How did you get so close? Oh, I remember now. You're Momiji, one of the Guardians of Yokai Mountain, aren't you? Being called a Guardian is a bit too much. I'm just part of the patrol. So what would a patrol Tengu be wandering around here for? The Great Tengu ordered us to investigate the Great Tree instead of patrolling the mountains. I wouldn't have come to this place otherwise. Aren't the Crotingo already doing that? That is quite likely, but they are doing it in hopes to get their hands on a scoop first. I am here because I happen to pull the short straw. Ah, I see. In any case, I will be going back shortly. Humans from the village won't approach this tree, and strong humans and yokai are coming in for a bit of fun. It's more or less as the great Tingo predicted. Oh my, going home so soon? Since you're already here, explore this place with us. You'll probably get more direct information that way, you know? I'm sorry, but my duty was only to patrol. Besides, the Crotingo will surely return with more information anyway. Though I don't know how accurate that information would be. Those Crotingo like to gossip way too much. What proof does anyone have that their information will be correct? And besides, those Crotingo only care about getting news before the other Crotingo for their next edition. Right. Compared to these crows, the information coming from the very serious White Wolf Tingu will be much more reliable, isn't that right? And the Great Tingo told you that the Great Tree is a higher priority, right? I bet patrolling the mountain is a real bore, especially after getting involved with a major incident like this. That's true, and the Crow Tingo would probably prioritize making their newspaper over actually reporting any accurate information they get. You're pretty good at winning people over. Great Tingo never did say to make haste in your report, I guess. Putting that aside, things that way does have a certain logic to it. I'm willing to help you for a while then. Sweet. We're in your hands, Momiji. Momiji Inubashiri joined the party. For the time being, I will stand by at the human village. Call for me there if you need my services. Alright, so we got our first character. Unfortunately, she went straight to the human village, so we can't use her until we go back to the human village. She is essentially your tank. She's going to be your tank for quite some time. She actually has the defensive stats to support it. Her skills, as far as being, besides being just a meat shield, most of her stuff just tends to be pretty basic. She has a bunch of physical attacks and all that. Anyway. But the more the merrier. Alright, so we found some locked chests. So these are all locked chests. I don't remember which does which. I would like to get the one that increases, that gives you gear, but I don't remember which one does that. So I'll come back to it. Actually, I'll do it right now. Okay, good news. It was actually the chest I thought it was going to be. It's the top one. Also, while I was going and looking that up, I got reminded of something. There is something that this game does not show properly. Oops, I just pressed the wrong button. So I just pressed the button that actually increases your encounter rate. And okay, my fingers were on the wrong keys. So right now I accidentally set my encounter rate to 200, so this next step is going to be an encounter. But one thing I also did not talk about... From what I could tell, it doesn't seem to show it. Ah, there it is. It does show it. So in the bottom right, you have battle points. The way it works is if you are in the front row, I believe at the start and the end of a combat, you will get 1 battle point. If you're in the back row, you'll get 1 battle... If you're at the start and the end, you'll get 2 battle points. And then if you're in the back row, you get 1 battle point. Battle points are used for certain quest requirements. And there are a number of characters. If you want to unlock every character, you need to actually bring them along so you can get them their battle points. So that's something to be aware of in the future. Right now, we don't need to worry about it until we have a full party, or if I decide to go with a smaller party. Some reasons why you want to go with a smaller party is if you want to cheese the level requirements, because level requirements is based off an average, and all your empty slots do count as towards that average. So that could be a way if you want to mess with certain requirements, or if you just want to do a run with just a certain team. Like for example, maybe you want to use all Scarlet Devil Mansion characters, which there's not a full party of them. In which case, in order for you to make up for the missing characters, you may want to level up a little higher, and therefore have a bit more leeway as far as the boss requirements are concerned. Anyway, enough of that. So yeah, battle points is something we'll need to worry about, but right now I don't think we have anyone that has requirements. Okay. Okay, just one of you. That's fine. Punch. Yeah, again, we're just gonna get punched, aren't we? Oh no, we got enough. Good times. Oh, we got a Kadama's fur bundle. So we got our first material. A bundle of fur taken from a Kadama. It's surprisingly furry and soft to the touch. Alright, this chest seems to be locked. Consume 1 treasure key to unlock the chest? Yes. So the top one will have a sub-equipment biggest sword ever, purple metallic armor, and a mana flower, and a symbol of faith. The other two, one of them does some stat increasing items, and I don't remember what the other one was. But essentially, you generally want the top one for the beginning, because it gets you a bunch of gear. Specifically, it gets you it essentially gets you the next tier of equipment. Actually, it gets you the third tier of the equipment. So, biggest sword ever, the strongest weapon that fires 3 huge waves of unlimited range. You may want to save your money for it at the last stage, but with just the last boss in mind, the Raging Waves sword's wave trails are more useful. Purple metallic armor. It looks like an armor meant to protect the upper body, but it is so big it covers more when worn by a human. Who knows what this noisy boy is trying to show off with those big yellow bad boys painted on it. Mana flower, an accessory created by fusing a nature's gift and a mana potion. Judging from its icon, it's created by just plopping the green flower representing the nature's gift on the mouth of the potion bottle. Symbol of faith, a statue in a cave which opens the hearts of those who see it. A depiction of a true savior of the world who screws diplomacy and forces strange items onto others. A conviction Rainbow and Sine sort of lack. So yeah, you essentially get an attack, defense, magic, and mind stat increasing item, which are all pretty useful. So for right now, we're going to go ahead and give... Oh, there we go. It saved my spot. That was what happened there. So yeah, this will essentially increase her... Yeah, increases her magic by quite a bit. So that'll help out quite a bit. And then, for now, we'll go ahead and give this and this to you. There's no penalty for over-gearing, so I may as well gear up as much as I can. Currently, the only person that benefits from attack besides Renazuki with his normal attack is Reimu, so we'll go ahead and give this to her. Alright, so we're good to go. The others are all locked, and we only had the one key. Even with the upgraded armor, was still not enough. Alright, go ahead and do this. And then attack. Alright, Marista's normal attack is actually doing better damage now, which is nice. The biggest danger right now is the wasps, simply because they'll hit us before we can hit them. Main equipment, manga meat. It's meat you often find in gag manga. No further explanation necessary. It's not soft, but it stretches out a lot when you bite into it. You probably may have seen such meats in something like One Piece. Anyway, it just does HP recovery, which is not really that useful to anyone. Yeah, it's not really useful to anyone. So here it has some HP recovery rate. Because the HP recovery rate only applies when you're in the back row. And the characters that are usually going to take damage and need HP recovery are going to be your tanks, who are not going to be being swapped out. We found some sort of tunnel at the end of this wall. Looks like we can go through the other side. There we go, and that puts us here. Wait, Reimu, look! On the other side of the grove. What? Oh, that! On the other side of Reimu's group's location was a mysterious floating black orb wandering aimlessly. What's there? That's Rumia, a yokai that can manipulate darkness. She collects the darkness around and forms a bubble of darkness around her, but it seems to blind her as well. Quite the eccentric yokai. I wonder if she can hear me if I call her from here. Hey, Rumia! Ah, someone called? Oh, I bumped my head. I can't see in front of me. Ow. Looks like she went somewhere else. That was predictable. Oh, a Kuran nut. These guys are actually kind of annoying because they have really high defense. So we're going to do Asteroid Belt and hope for the best. Alright, took out those. I'm going to go ahead and buff you. Yeah, you got defense up now. Good for you. I'll go ahead and concentrate to recover some MP. First aid. Yeah, the heal's pretty weak. Well, can I kill you? Nope, 0 damage. Nope, 0 damage. Alright. She ran out. Oh, in this game they don't actually have special dialogue for running out of stamina, which is unfortunate. Alright, well. Congratulations, you are now the new front row, Renazuki. You'll be front row for probably a turn. I'm also running out of MP, which is a bit unfortunate. Alright, found another tunnel. So now we have a shortcut to get back to where we were. Yeah, I can already tell there's nothing over here, but I want to fill out the map because it's fun. Alright, let's do Fantasy Seal. Alright, Renazuki is out of stamina. So we're down to our back row, which is not a good place to be. I mean, I'm probably gonna die if I go into another combat. And that would suck. I'm also practically out of MP, so even if we're trading hits, I would have to spend time doing concentrate at this point. Cantrip book. A book that records all sorts of troublesome things. It might allow you to use all sorts of status of magic, or it might not. So this is the first tier of the magic increasing equipment. So there's one that increases it by 24%, and then of course we've gotten the one that does 36% as well. So that gets Marissa pretty up there as far as magic damage is concerned, which is good. What's that? That's a crying voice. I guessed that as much. So it's the curse tool this time. The human part, at least. Hey, you! Didn't you always have an umbrella with you? Let me explain. It's not with me because... Nah, let us guess. Since humans aren't surprised by you anymore at your usual place, you decided to try your luck in the Great Tree. You wanted to surprise someone here, but the monsters beat you black and blue, and your umbrella got stolen instead. Your bruises make it easy to guess. Oh, nailed it. I don't get it. She's an umbrella Tsukumo Gami, no? How can she be here crying when they took her body away? Come on, help me out. Get my umbrella back from those monsters. No way. No way. If your umbrella was stolen, do you know where it is now? I don't know. That's even more annoying. So, missing umbrella. Oh wow, we're in trouble. Well, there goes Reimu. Oh wow, that attack missed. Good for you. I'm gonna die anyway though, because I don't have any MP. Oh no! So in the first game, if you got a game over, you had to reload your save, and that was really bad. Well, that was our first run inside that tree. The enemies sure hit hard in battles. We should aim to defeat them before they can hit us. However, if we go all out like that from the beginning, we'll run out of gas quickly. Well, it can't be helped for now. We're not used to exploring after all. As we recruit new members, it gets stronger, become luckier, and chip away at it, our exploration area will, little by little, become wider as well. I guess all we can do is keep going at it. By the way, for some reason it feels like the enemies aren't targeting us equally when attacking. Am I just imagining things? You're not. The enemies tend to attack characters that they have an easier time reaching. Characters in front of the party will be targeted more often. Conversely, characters in the back will be targeted less. Amongst our current group, the Shopkeeper and I are a little tougher than Reimu and Marissa. It might be best to put us at the front using the formation option to offer Reimu and Marissa a little more protection. Well, I'm also the worst at defeating the enemies. I'll at least be a tank. If I'm just sitting there uselessly while you girls are shielding me, I'd have trouble sleeping at night. Oh, well said, Corin. We'll be relying on you. The target for an enemy's attack during combat is largely influenced by the position of the group at the front. In short, enemies are inclined to attack the leftmost character. Physical enemies especially show this tendency. Thus, characters with high HP and defenses should be put at the utmost left, with more fragile characters at the right. This reduces the chance of them being killed by normal enemies. Controlling who the enemy attacks is a very important battle. Make sure that your front line is organized, well organized at all times. So what's oh, my party's getting bigger. Way to go, Mari. What did you just make me say? Nuh-uh, that was all you? Anyways, it's good to have more allies, but only 4 people can be in battle at once, yeah? Is there any reason to get more allies than that? Of course there is. Only 4 people may participate in battle at a time, but you can still bring 8 others with you. The more people you have, the more battles you can endure, and the wider you can explore for each run through the Great Tree. Furthermore, people resting in the back during battle will slowly recover HP and MP. If someone's spent, you can shift that person to the back, where they'll slowly heal back up until they've recovered enough to fight at the front again. Though we don't have enough party members to do that kind of rotation, so don't worry about it yet. Just continue on as you are now, and give it some more thought once we're up to 8 or so party members. Sounds like it'll be best if we make full use of the advantages of having many people to work with as we progress onwards. By the way, this might sound a little naggy, but do take note that you have to go to the human village and switch your party around to add new party members to the exploration team. Make sure to give the human village a visit later. And if you don't equip those weapons and armor, they won't have any effect. What did you make me say? Nuh-uh, that was all you. I give up. Just do whatever you want. You have it tough. Good work. Is this really going to be okay? Alright. In recognition of your achievements, the following is rewarded. You get money and an energy gem. So the achievements we just grabbed is get defeated for the first time. So part of the reason why I'm letting myself get defeated is because there's achievements for it. There's one for 12. Yeah, there's one for being defeated once and then 12 times. Getting defeated really early on can be very, very beneficial. Also, as you reveal achievements, you'll get to see what the rewards of nearby achievements are, which is kind of helpful. So if you escape battle 200 times, you get 2 swiftness gems, and if you have 100,000 money at once, you get a money growing tree. And then, of course, if you get defeated 12 times, a meddlesome person will come. Hint, hint. And then down here, of course, we walked 200 steps, which got us an energy gem. You may finally get to the next town. Oh yeah, even if everyone gets defeated, all that happens is a forced return to Gensokyo with no real penalties. Wipe as much as you want. So yeah, as mentioned, in the previous game, it was you had to load your save, which is really bad. You can lose lots of progress. But in this game, it's not only not a setback, it's actually recommended to do so. So just let yourself get defeated from time to time. There are some mentions about the formation, which I already talked about. I will point out that your starting party, the way they had it set up, they had your squishy characters in the front, so it was almost guaranteed that you're going to run out of people pretty quickly. So I guess that was kind of their way to force you to get through the tutorial quickly, but anyone that's played the previous game already knew all this. Anyway, walking, you may finally get to the next town. Okay, so yeah, that's all we got from that. So we did get a... well, so we have access to the bestiary, just to point out. You can kind of see all this stuff they're weak against, including status effects. You can see all their drop rates, which is all helpful as well. Yep. Got all that. And then there was something else. Oh yeah, we did get a few other items, so I'll go ahead and point that out real quick. We did get an energy gem. An item that increases its target's maximum stamina when used. You can use it at the Hakurei Shrine. Up to 10 can be used per character. For right now, we're going to hold on to this until we have a decided party. Alright, and then we do have Human Village. We can now pick up Momiji. So now we have that. So we can do something like this. So yeah, stats-wise, she has got decent attack and really good defense and kind of magic defense. But she is essentially our tankiest character once I actually give her equipment. Remove. Thought there was a faster way to remove equipment. There's not. And then unequip that. Don't care about the manga meat. So yeah, we'll go ahead and give her this purple metallic armor. And symbol of faith. Okay. Alright. And before we do anything else, let's go ahead and just do this. So there you go, levels up everybody, including even characters that weren't with us. And then we can set up level up bonuses. So for you, I'm just going to up your defense. For Nezuki, doesn't really matter. It really doesn't. Here... Yeah, speed's not worth it. We'll just do defense up. Of course, you're going to go magic. You're going to go with defense up as well. Because you're probably going to be tanking hits. And then for you... We'll just do magic for now. I never really know what to do with Reimu because she's kind of all spread out. It's really hard to kind of figure out what you're supposed to do with her. Okay. Yeah, so our average level is now 2. Okay, with that, I'm going to go ahead and call it here. Sorry this video went on a little bit longer. I'm the Prestio, this is Labyrinth of Touhou 2. I'll see you guys later.